How's it going? It's that time of the year. We have 3 boxes of Beyond Destiny to open. I went to a midnight release to get these as soon as possible. I figured I would just kind of do my best Steve D impersonation and kind of open some packs and kind of just talk about just about everything. So this will be the Worlds format. Is the thanks to the cards released in this box. And I think it's a really, really interesting set. I really like how many of the heroes feel super cool and impactful. And I think a lot of the legends are really good. So box topper is a Princess Sarah. Unfortunately, I think that's some pretty bad glare. I don't think there's much I can do about that other than try to like angle myself to block it. So yeah, box topper this time is Princess Sarah. Let me play with the resolution. Hold on 1 second. Okay, that's a lot better. I think my camera's still a little bit on the glary side, unfortunately. But I imagine a lot of this will be just kind of listened to anyway. Also, thanks to my new setup, I do have my lovely laptop camera. You do have to deal with the tripod bar. But we're going to open 3 boxes of Beyond Destiny at midnight on the 17th. Alright, so what am I looking for? I want as few of her as possible, just because we already have the box topper. We'll have our playset. It's one of the main reasons I buy 3 boxes. I really would like my full arts to be Sky Pirates. I like Balthier and Penella from the set quite a bit. Already a legend and a really nice hero, actually. Or legend. Legend and a nice hero foil. Those are really good cards. Gao is Water's best monster removal, which is really, really sick. And I think Gestal is like just a solid 1-of backup in every lightning list. Being able to turn the worst card in your hand into the best forward in your break zone is really nice. That is a foil starter. Shantoto and Felthanos as a hero. I have to make 3 piles, I suppose. Put the foils here. Yeah. Really like the Shantoto, actually. I think that starter ended up coming out a lot better than I thought it would. I saw a lot of play in Japan's nationals. Well, the hits, they can't all be hits. Yeah, actually, we'll put these here. And Ursula. Gunbreaker, I think, is maybe the single worst card in the set. Really not even worth much limited play, to be honest. Larsa and foil, that's a nice one. Larsa is really, really good. These are rares and commons. Larsa, I think, really adds a pretty big consistency boost to any water deck that is not mono water, where what's her name would be better. There we go. Jack Garland. I really want to pull a playset of Jack in particular. I really want to be able to start brewing with this card. I think there's a lot of really interesting things he enables in Earth and Wind specifically, which are my 2 favorite colors in the game. So having this card with a really unique payload there that also has just incidental utility elsewhere, very likely is the card that I will go for first. And the Sophia. In partly because Sophia and Jack and Ash and Jack are just so, like, strong. There's also, like, currently there's so much aggro, like, everywhere. And I feel like Jack really helps tempo aggro, or, like, temper aggro down to not be crazy. Thanks in part to this turd. Sky Serpent General Rugdajine. I don't like some of what this guy enables. I think he is a card that is going to enable a lot of non-games. Mealy Aliapo, and a Cyan. I think this is actually one of the legends I'm most impressed with, to be honest. A lot of people seem to like read him as like, oh, you're paying like 8 for him, and I'm like, yeah, you're paying 8, and you're stacking resources for the rest of the game. And if you don't need to stack them, you're stacking a board wipe. Like, I don't know. Like, to me, every mode is just good. It rounds up some damage. You pair that with any like ping booster, you can like really rack it up. It's a Megissa target that in turn pings Megissa, which is really, really crazy. It's a board wipe during your opponent's turn. Another foil starter. Not the one I'm happiest about, but I do think there are potential uses for this guy. Yeah, I think Cyan's a really, really sick card. One thing I didn't mention in my set review, actually, is if you have Ceremobius on field, you get to just look at the top 5 cards of your deck and add all the backups. There's our first full art, and it's a Titan. That's a pretty nice one, to be honest. Let's see. Show that off for the camera a little bit. Always like having my summons in full art, just because I feel like summons are things that don't get... If a summon's good, it'll see play for a long time, I feel like. There's our Ash. There is our first part of the box done. Already found 3 of our legends, which is not bad at all. Foil Dragoon. Non-foil Lena. Get your place out of this card as soon as you can. This is probably the card I want in foil the most, to be quite honest, out of the entire set. Have the, I missed out by not getting my Sarah's in foil when I first started playing the game. And I think Lena is just Sarah too. I think that card is insanely good. Foil Neon and non-foil Ingus. That's a great pack. But Lena just enables so much degenerate stuff that it's kind of wild that she was printed, to be honest. I guess Lena has so many good cards, you have to print good Lenas to actually get things to happen. But I don't know. I almost felt that card could have been less good and still seen play. Love the Strangers of Paradise love I'm finding. It's a foil Astos and a foil Neon in the same box, along with a Jack Garland. Foil Ram. And a Darkness Manifest that I'll never actually sleeve up. It's a really weird set to evaluate, to be honest. Oh, there is our second full art. It is a Kyros. It's a very pretty card. It's not exactly one that I'm excited to pull, but the FF8 stuff does look nice. Machinist and Odin. I don't know, it's just something about Warp, and especially because, like, I'd really like a series of, like, 0-cost Warp, 2 CP backups with no text. I'd like to see how good those are. And in that situation, like if Kyros dull froze when those entered, I actually could think he could be really interesting. But I don't know. I'm not super hyped to be warping stuff, to be honest. The Pinello in foil. This card is so pretty in person. Holy cow. Foil Irvine, that's great. That is my playset of Irvine. Actually, I have a full art, a foil, and I think even a non-foil potentially. So, would like to stop pulling Irvines now, unless I'm going to get another full art. Kituna, Bahamut. I think this card is criminally slept on. I think she is very, very impactful at like all stages of the game. I know 1 CP like may seem like a lot, but she ends up being Cucullin for a lot of forwards. Except she's Cucullin that also like prevents all recursive effects from getting back into the card. On top of just like being an insane like late game finisher too. And like it's not even a late game finisher, she's also just a protection spell. The fact that you can just hold her on your opponent's turn and just threaten to shoot 2 things before they pass is wild. The backups don't need to be untapped. You can pay for something with the backups and then sack them off to her trigger. She puts them in the break zone, so she procs stuff like Rampair and Garland. I don't think either of those cards is in a fantastic state anymore, but they're not terrible. Foil Nini, that's great. I really wanted at least one of her in foil. She will be probably slotting it very quickly. Let me say, by the way, how weird a decision it was to put a foil non-full art Ishtola in the Dissidia collection box. It's so strange because, like, I don't hate a lot that that product did. Vaughn and Avon. But, like, so much of it was just weird. Like, why was Ishtola the only foil in that? Like, when she's already foil in the set proper. Why was Bart's a non-foil full art? Like, we're never going to get a full art of him. Just make the box have the high rarity version of him so that people are incentivized to buy multiples of it, which then puts more singles on the market for people. Why do they print such crappy summons in it? Why did you not throw one copy of Amaterasu so you don't have to print it as a promo and then ruin the value for the collector market of Amaterasu? Like, I really do like the game a lot, but it is very frustrating when they make strange decisions like that. Like, the anniversary box has some, like, really, really fun cards and interesting things in it, but it's hard to recommend buying just because, like, they did make it a very appealing standalone product. It feels like the teaser for the upcoming set rather than a really cool standalone thing you can be doing. So, I mean, if you held off until Beyond Destiny so you could just pick up the cards in either foil or the non-foil versions off your friends that bought boxes, I wouldn't blame you. But I don't think we've got any more hits still coming in this box. Palom and Tyvus. I always forget Have's a rare. He just feels like a hero for some reason. I don't know why. Just feel like all the big heroes in the set should be heroes for some reason to match the Tyvus. There we go. Oh, there is actually one more hit. I forgot. I've only gotten one foil legend so far. Alright, let's take a look at this box. So we have our two full arts in Titan and Kyros. Pretty happy about one. This one's not so much. Two foil starters is great, including one that I actually really like. Foil Irvine, foil Cyan. That's going to complete our playset of Cyan. I'm pretty sure I've got at least one more from another box. The Gao, the Balthier. And that's my second Ferris total. From after pre-releases. My first Jack, first Neo X Death. That was decent. We're going to put these themselves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 legends. 2 foil legends. I'll leave the full arts out. Put the those over there. I'll put my heroes off on the side. We'll put our commons back into the box. And we'll move on to the next one. So, I'm not expecting to pull a Jack this time, the signature card of the set, just because I know somebody pulled one at relatively, like, they got home sooner than I did. And we already know that at least one Jack has been sold from the shop after the midnight release. I don't know if they increased the hit rate, but I sure feel like there's a lot more of them showing up. Second Princess Sarah. And let's get to pulling packs. Foil. Let's put these. I need to find a spot that's not on the mat for these so I have room for them. I'll do that. That'll work. So it was foil was there, and hero was over here. Okay, put the rare. Ooh, Jed is not a. That's a hero. Not exactly a professional pack opener or anything. So if you're here, I appreciate it. We'll go with the Tiamat and a Leviathan. Bahamut in foil. I think that card is really slept on. I think people just kind of don't realize it has some of the text on it that it has. Can't be reduced. RFG at the end. It's kind of like the 13 Bahamut, just with no real restrictions. That one does not spark joy. That one is my second Full Art Monk. I mean, the card looks super cool, but just has no text, as it turns out. There's the foil Zondi as our legend. Really have been just very disappointed with Zondi. I didn't realize just how many characters 8 was, and how few monsters in Lightning really generate card advantage outside of breaking forwards, but don't really want my monsters to break forwards. I want them to generate advantage in other ways, and Lightning's cards don't do that. They're pretty much all about breaking forwards. So, and like, I was talking with a friend, and it's like, if you think about the Scions deck that I took to Nationals, and you go 5 backups, Alize, revive Ishtola, which you probably want to revive Alfino to search something. You have 7 characters. Like, that's barely enough to do the Zondi revival, and then any removal spell from your opponent would fizzle it. And then you have to like get value out of that afterwards, or like, and then like 5 to break something. Like, sure, you leave the body behind, but it doesn't work very early. So like, if you're getting rushed down by aggro, you can't even like say, oh, we'll pay 5, break a small thing, and then go off from there. It's like, no, that's not really how it works, unfortunately, because you've got to get the backups down before it has any text whatsoever. It really feels like somewhere between a miss and a hero for me. I'm not sure where I'd categorize it. Second Balthier. Very happy about that. Even for non-foils. I want to be able to play that deck like as soon as I can. Nice little foil Titan to go with our full art. I don't know. I really want to like the card. It just has not done much for me. Leftia is sneaky good for especially a common. Even pairing her with something like Cyan, turning all those crystals into 5k pings is super impactful. There's Snow, kind of the other breakout hit common of the set. Turns out a backup searching a forward that does pretty good things if you have it is pretty good. I think if Ace had had a girl who forgot her name instead of a recursion backup, I actually think that card would be showing up in basically every Lightning deck. Well, I believe that is probably my playset of Zondi when you factor in pre-release boxes. So, would like to stop pulling them, because I really don't think I want more than a playset of that card, to be totally honest. This is a card I would love a playset of in foil. Again, I speedran Strangers of Paradise, so I really like the game, actually. I think it's a quite good video game. And then on top of that, I think the card is really good. That makes up for the Monk by itself. That is one of my most wanted full arts from the set. That also rounds out my playset of Balthier. I can playtest Sky Pirates immediately. Man, that's so nice. Yeah, Vaughn, Balthier, Pinello, any of those in full art I'll take. I really like the summons in full art. Like I said, most of them I think could see play in the future. Foil Edgar, that's really, really nice. Fun fact, I opened 3 pre-release kits. Pulled none of this guy. Also pulled 0 Girl Who Forgot Her Name. So my pre-releases were very scuffed to turn my snow on with haste. Foil Tyvis and a Griever. Really like that pack. The Warrior stuff is really good, actually. I don't think people realize how many good Warriors there are in the game. Especially ones that you're happy to play for free. So, and if you don't deal with him, you can really snowball. Yuzuki especially is a card that, like, I think the element combination really didn't see a lot of play, which is one of the reasons why she hadn't really been that impactful. But, like, there are decks that cannot deal with Yuzuki. The classic mono wind play of, like, Luso board wipes just no longer functions if your opponent has a Yuzuki on the field. We really like the meh starters. That is a Wind Cecil. Really, the big problem with the Cecil is, like, it's a very strange combination of text. He protects himself and then gives, like, an Anthem buff to DFF forward specifically. I just don't know what would really want that and wouldn't be playing the 5-drop Cecil to tag into something else. Don't mind getting those in foil. I should think these backups are better than people give them credit for, just given how nice it is to have even costed Crystal Gem backups. Obviously, they're really bad if you draw them late, but to be honest, drawing backups late isn't very good anyway, so that doesn't bother me that much. And the other thing is actually they're really nice and limited. I've never had limited decks that curve out quite as easily as these ones do. I think that's the Crystal Gem backups doing a lot of heavy lifting because they're either 2 CP or 1 CP. And unlike the 1 CP backups from a couple sets ago, if you want to play these to the field in limited, you don't have to have a backup that matches elements. You just have to have a backup on the field that you're willing to tap. So it ends up kind of just like accelerating how that feels. It's really nice, actually. Big fan of them in limited. This has been one of my pet decks, actually, of the set so far. Dancers is a tribal with complete untargetability and a lot of really annoying interruption effects. Okay, you know, if the monk just isn't actually a full art that needs to matter for a box, I'm a little happier getting him. I'm not going to lie. That's just like, if this wasn't even here, I'd be happy with these. So if the monk is just a nice little bonus, then I suppose I no longer will be complaining about pulling a full art monk. Been joking at locals that we should have a game called Monk Jump Scare, where we just hide extra non-foil copies of that guy around, and if anybody finds one while, you know, at the shop or something, we just have, like, they have to yell Monk Jump Scare. I mean, not every card can be good. I do wish they wouldn't use art that cool on a card that wasn't any good. Make that the backup or something. Fun fact about this Terra that I didn't know, by the way. She is... You must search for 2. You can't search for up to 2. So in Limited, she literally has no text. Well, that's a little unfortunate, but given that I'm only buying 3 boxes, I usually have to trade to round out my playsets of Legends. So I don't like pulling multiples of Legends past 3 unless I'm pulling foils. And that is... I'm way past my 3rd Cyan. So, I believe that's the bottom of the box. We have our 2 foil Legends, 1 foil starter, 3 full arts. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 heroes. Or 7 legends. Alright, let's take those up there so I can sort them out later. And we are on to the final box, which means this. I need to put my commons tucked away in that other box. I need to get a second big tray. And then I can put all my rares into this box. Oh, shoot. I almost knocked over a stack of cards. That would have been annoying. Just put those out of the way. Fortunately, having a laptop takes up a lot more space. So I don't have as much room on my desk for stuff like this. Alright. Final box. One thing we've done really well at, knock on wood, is dodging the... I stopped the recording there. Okay. It's alright, I'm going to stitch things together anyway. So, foil, hero, commons and rares. What would I like to see? Vaughn is the really big one. I think Vaughn is a card that probably goes into Mono Wind at multiple copies every time. I know people are like, well, he's just Luso, but I think people don't realize how good a free Luso actually is. Because it gives you a Chocobo target that is not Lulu. And Lulu costs 1 CP to loop. If Vaughn does this thing, he is literally a free bounce. You bounce him to hand, and Chocobo says draw 2 cards, as opposed to pay 1, draw a card. On top of just being a big body. I think actually being 9k is shockingly... Yes! There we go. There we go. That is my playset of Jack, which I really like to see. This is... I really like the design on the Stranger of Paradise stuff. I don't know... It genuinely might be a little bit on the fair side, which is a very funny thing to say. But I think it's really solid and really healthy overall. Really like the cards. And I really like how they designed the archetype where you can play Jack in both mono decks and in multi-element decks. Because in mono decks you can run the mono payoffs as well, and Jack can search those. I think that's like a really unique thing about Jack, is that he actually is very generic. They even gave him the ability to search himself, which they did not have to do. But if just an endless conga line of dark 9k Braves is enough to survive a matchup, or if you already have like all of your targets out of the deck, you can search himself, which just is always nice. It's really good when cards can search themselves, because it means that you're never out of search targets if there's another copy of the same card in the deck. It's one of the reasons that Sarah and Norstalen are so much better than a lot of the other backup engines in the game. Don't think I'm going to get a playset of Ingus. I don't think I have another one of those yet. We're starting to run into a couple repeats. It's a little bit annoying. That's alright. I feel like Irvine's just fine. really not super flashy. That's kind of the biggest problem with the card. Theodore's got great art, so I'm okay with this one. Even if I really don't think the card is amazing. Like, I don't know why he needs the Cecil on the field for both of his effects. There's the Princess Sarah. I don't know what deck plays Princess Sarah, but I do think that she is a lot stronger than people are giving her credit for. I think something about the card that people don't realize is how many princesses there are in Wind and Water, and how easy that makes it to search her, which then means that her little, like, discarding a princess special is live very easily. It's my first Warrior of Light. But that kind of protection is really good, and it's protection damage from anything, so it doesn't matter if it's combat or ability damage. You just get to negate it. And there's a lot of decks that can really use that. I mean, the real question becomes, what are you meant to build with it? I don't know if there's an Earth Princess, but I feel like that could be a really natural home. Like Earth, Water, Wind, play Warrior of Light, use Edgar to fetch the last ones. You can run just a ton of princesses and go from there. But if there's a Wind-Water deck, I really think there's a very solid backup line. I've been using it in Dancers, actually, to protect the Mayakov and the Lilith set, being able to just have this super consistent backup line that has a lot of very relevant protection. And Dancers actually do very much appreciate having consistent backup access to play the game. Warrior of Light's actually a card that's a lot better than I think I read it at first. A lot of cards that I didn't think about end up costing 3. I just don't know. Again, it's kind of the question of like what deck plays it. Because probably the best backups you can run are in Wind and Water again. And Wind Water hasn't been a deck since Opus 15, and that deck was not running generic backups. That deck was running very specific backups to enable itself. So you need a Wind Water good stuff deck that's good enough to compete with the meta. And it's, admittedly, I think it's a little weird that Wind Water hasn't been good for so long, just given how much natural synergy those two elements have. Like, there's not been a Wind Water Storm deck ever, despite the fact that, like, Wind wants to activate backups, which, hey, 3-foil Legend box. Wind wants to activate things, and Water wants to draw cards, and those actually go hand in hand really well, because when you're activating backups, you need things to be doing. That's why a lot of Wind cards have draw effects on them. And when you are drawing cards, you want to be able to play them. I don't know. I've always felt that like there's got to be some kind of like a Wind Water Storm deck that's better than people think. I mean, I guess I did actually sort of take one when I went to the Dallas Materia Cup, thanks to how strong the Princess and the Moogle engine was. It turns out that Wind and Water actually give you all the colors to cast Warrior of Light, as long as you get the Moogles down, which ended up being very consistent. Super, super cool deck. Just basically said I'm going to punt 13 because I expected a lot of mono water, and then hit 13 in my first matchup. And then bricked in my last round to miss top cut. Kind of one of those situations where it's like you look at your hand and you have the most important card. Full art, Red Mage. But you're missing the CP to play it, so you just kind of assume in your next 2 cards you're going to draw the right color. This art is really, really nice for the Red Mage. Probably one of the coolest arts in the set. And actually the card is really good. People kind of, I think because like the ice decks that are good right now are Ice Earth, which really wants long-term value, which Laswell doesn't necessarily provide. And Ice Lightning, which is very tight on slots. But people just kind of forgot that Laswell's a really nasty card when he comes down early. And this is kind of copies 4, 5, and 6 of Laswell. I've heard a lot of kind of rumblings about like a mono ice aggro deck where you run like Laswell, Rufus, Red Mage, and you run the Sky Serpent General. Because all of them have really, really nasty attack triggers. Monk jump scare. Alright, 2 packs remaining. I'm curious. Let's take a look real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Probably not anything in these. Got 3 foil legends and my 2 full arts, so these packs are probably nothing. I mean, I will gladly take a foil Shiva, though. Last pack. Foil starter. Okay. Last box was probably... Well, I say it's my least favorite, but I did end up with my foil Jack Garland out of it. That's really nice. Got a playset of Balthier. What legends did I pull 0 of? No Ultimishas. No, 1 Ultimisha. I've got 1 Ultimisha, 1 Griever, 2 Ingus. Let's go color by color. I pulled Zondies for sure. I pulled playset of Irvine. Fire, I pulled my Cyans and my Shadows for sure. Water, I pulled a Ferris and 2 Gauss. Wind, I pulled the Sarah and a playset of Balthier. Earth, Ingus, and a couple of Neo X Deaths. So yeah, really just ice I didn't pull very much of. That's actually kind of annoying. My locals is very ice heavy. It's going to be probably one of the harder ones to fully get. But 7 legends in the box. 7 full arts across 3 boxes is quite nice, even if they're not the most spectacular ones. And yeah, that'll do it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you in the next one.